They have been very busy week. This is almost the end of my fourth week, and thoroughly enjoyed it. Very busy, and I've learned a lot.
So what, in summary, have you learned? Is the job bigger and more difficult than you were expecting?
No, it's about what I expected. I think this 4 weeks has probably been busier than I anticipated being going forward. A lot of people want to come and see me, of course, put their case forward for various things. I understand that, so I think that will normalise over a period. But I have reached a landing on probably the bigger issues that are facing our district at this point.
Now, a lot of people, I guess, expect miracles. They expect a new mayor to deliver the goods almost instantly. But from what you've just said, you're quite confident of covering a lot of ground and finding solutions quite fast.
I do. First up, I would say that I'm delighted with the council that we have. We are fellow travellers in wanting to achieve the things that are causing difficulty in the district at the present time. The traffic and transport problems, those sorts of issues, high on our agenda to fix, and a real focus on council, by council, into addressing those in the short term.
So can you give us a bit of a report on what you've been doing and what the outcomes are?
If I can summarise kind of the big points that are apparent to me, in the main they are the issues that I had identified in my campaign, but if anything, they're possibly bigger and more important that we fix than I understood before. The first of those is housing. And I say again, as I've said in the past, council can't go and build houses, well, I don't think they can, to solve the problem, but they can facilitate an outcome. And I hadn't appreciated quite what a handbrake the lack of good family houses at an acceptable price is on our district. So one thing we just have to do something about. Traffic and transport. Delighted today to turn the first sod on the new Eastern Access Way, Hawthorn Drive. I've had a really good, positive meeting with the Minister of Transport, Simon Bridges. We are fellow travellers in addressing the remaining issues around traffic and transport. Public transport, said before, it has to be affordable, frequent, and really good, so people just simply want to travel on it. Visitor levy, the more I see of it, the more we have to have it. I come back to the fact that we have 22,000 ratepayers, 4.8 million visitor nights in the Wakatipu alone, let alone what is in Wanaka. So it's an issue that has to be addressed. Had some very positive engagement with government on it. And then the final point, it's not to say there aren't other really important issues, but is that vision for the future. And as you and I have talked about before, this is it's the catalyst that causes all the other things to be achieved.
I think everybody would agree the time is right for change, for Queenstown to step up to the next level, to grasp all the opportunities, but there has been a lot of talk about the problems that employers are facing, like the supermarkets. In fact, all businesses are having trouble housing workers, and that makes it harder to recruit workers. So would that be perhaps the most urgent problem to fix?
Yes, I think it is. It's probably on a par with traffic and transport because that's the biggest frustration. But if you look at accommodation there's three parts to it. There is houses, permanent houses, either rent or buy for families who are working here. I have an association with aviation security. They can't get people to come here because they can't get people reasonable cost housing. Second part of it is itinerant worker accommodation. Delighted to see a couple of proposals on the table to address that. Got some work to do to get them across the line, but that's high on the agenda. And the third part of it is additional hotel accommodation. We're starting to get some feedback from tour operators that it's becoming too hard to get accommodation for people coming to Queenstown. We're going to get ahead of the game on that and get some new hotel projects going as well.
I mean, there has been publicity in the past about greedy landlords, for want of a better term. Whose job is it really to police accommodation, to find good quality, affordable accommodation for the people who keep hospitality and retail going?
Well, you know, some would say that employers have a responsibility, if they want good employees, to do something about it, and maybe that's fair comment. It depends how specialist the occupation is, so that's an element. But if we have enough good family housing stock developed in the district, it'll take care of itself, because it will be a supply and demand issue, and the price will fit the supply. And you know, my desire is to find it easy for mum, dad and 3 kids to find a place to live.
As a new mayor, are you finding that you're in a sort of honeymoon period, or is there already resistance from people who don't want to see change, who want things to stay the same?
There is a desire by some people not to see further growth. I understand that, but I don't think you can stop growth. There is a limitation to growth, naturally, and we're probably coming up against that a bit now because of the lack of hotel space. But you can't string a barbed wire fence across the road or stop aeroplanes coming in. We will have growth. The issue is more, though, about being prepared for that growth. So instead of waiting for the growth to occur and then building infrastructure, we need to predate the growth and make sure the infrastructure is in place before the people come.
So I guess in summary, after these initial weeks, is your optimism and confidence about improving Queenstown still undamaged, or are there signs there that it might take longer or be more difficult than you thought?
If anything, I actually suspect I'll get there faster. Could be famous last words, wait to see, than I kind of thought I would. And that's probably after some really positive engagement with Minister Bridges, as I said before, and Minister Smith on housing issues.
Well, Jim Boult, thanks for speaking to TAP TV.
Thank you.